I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubt. And I have my doubt that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. I miss those boys that you see in those pictures at the end of that intro video. For those of you watching the recording later on, you probably won't see the intro video because I edited it out later on, but I miss them terribly. I have not seen them since 2014. And they actually fit a little bit into the conversation that I want to have with you tonight. So, let's see, updates. I don't know of any. You've seen or had the opportunity anyway, to see the daily vlog, the video for the grow tent. So that's pretty much the updates. Don't have anything more to update you as far as we're concerned that I can think of or remember. So if I'm mistaken and something hits me in the back of the head, I'll let you know. So pretty much we're gonna get right on it. On the topic at hand here. So I want to explain first off why I'm having this little discussion. So I watched a video today from a fairly popular channel. I'm not gonna out it. Now, I will say this: the video's not just available on YouTube, so no need to go out trying to find it. Wouldn't be that easy. But one of the comments made during the video was in reference to other individuals and how they're scumbags because they might owe child support. Interesting way to judge other individuals, I think. It was like I had a tap on the shoulder when that happened. And yeah, you probably understand what I mean. I'm like, okay, because it is all about obedience. And that's actually the first thing that was put in my mind to share with you. Obedience, it's easy to say. Real easy to say. It rolls right off the tongue for most people. But to do it, not so much. And I guarantee you, nobody is perfect at it. Not one of us. But I firmly believe that there are people that try at it a little harder than others. So where am I coming from personally when I talk about obedience? Well, that's where we do the Jin Pasaki circle back. And back in 2014, when, and I've told this story before, all that happened with my marriage, and I lost everything. My kids, my possessions, everything. It was pretty much as if I lost everything in a house fire, and my family too. Okay, because I lost all of my possessions and my family. And so I knew that if I could open up a line of communication with my ex, that I could get things calmed down. Had no doubt. No doubt. You have to understand, somebody that deals with psychosis, okay, wasn't the first dance with her. In fact, this was number 6. All right. So basically, you just got to give her time to calm down. And what she had actually done in the past was actually write the courts and say, hey, I kind of flipped out. I'm sorry, you know. But we couldn't get to that point because others were interfering. Nice, huh? And see, when we lived around here, we had a large support group. Other individuals that were aware of the issues, and they would step in and help. At that point in time, we were actually down in Alabama. We didn't have that support group. We really didn't know anybody down there. So that was a big major factor in what happened. So I just wanted to give you a little backstory as to what was up with that, because it's important. I believe firmly, I know, that the Father sends people to us to give us messages. I think any spiritual person understands that. And he sent a friend of mine with a message to me, that a friend that he knew I would listen to. Very simple message, because after all, as the Father, he knows how to talk to us when we can hear him. Probably put a big asterisk in front of that. When we can hear him. Oops. So, the message was simple. 2 words. Be still. Not kidding. 2 words. Be still. And, alright. Now, if the man says something, if he gives me a command like that, I'm damn well gonna listen. I wrote it down on a piece of paper. I'd still got it. I wrote it down on a piece of paper and I put it at my computer monitor. Okay? I did have that. When I left, I was able to take a duffel bag, a medium-sized Alice pack, and my computer tower, and I had my monitor taped to it. That is literally the only possessions out of my entire life that I was able to keep. And it's actually the computer that Jen's on right now. So ever since, Brett was born in 2005 and Rafal was born in 2008. So February 26th and 28th, not respectively. Brett's birthday is February 28th, Rafal's is February 26th. So Brett was supposed to be born on like leap day, because it was a leap year, and he was actually supposed to be born on leap day, and I was really, really hoping for that. I know he would have hated it, and I get that, but I'm Dad. I'm allowed to love things he hates, right? But anyway, supposed to be. Let me big asterisk that too. I'm supposed to be allowed to love anything he hates. Unfortunately, thanks to our government and our wonderful court systems, there are millions of men in the United States that are in the same position as I am. Okay? So anyway, just to make that long story short, be still was my command. It is now 2021. I am still being still on that matter. I am still being still on that matter. Why? Because it's my children. and aside from the Father himself, my children are the most important thing to me. And if he tells me to be still, I've got to be obedient. If he wants to work it out where they're in my life, he will. He will. But it was a wise thing for me to be still. And I'm not going to go into the situation or anything like that. But with some people and the current system, there is no such thing, at least without an exorbitant amount of money, there is no such thing as even having a chance. So, liars are incredibly horrible people. Anyway, so let's speak back to we'll do the Jen Psaki again and circle back. Let's speak back to the comment about how people that owe child support are scumbags, right? I find that interesting, how we're so quick to judge by man's laws, how easily we forget the Father's laws. What? Yeah. See, and I got another comment to make about that, about this support thing. Do you know what the largest wealth redistribution scheme is in the world? I guess conservatives aren't as conservatives as they thought they were, huh? Guess not. Largest wealth redistribution scheme is the child support system. Fact. But dude, I don't support socialism. You don't? So, one of the points I made about not understanding the Father's laws and, wanting to impress man's laws on us, wanting to almost hold us on a biblical scale to man's laws. Almost. Strange. I know, right? One of the Father's laws, and he was pretty serious about this. In fact, he was so serious, this is the most upset that I've seen Jesus get ever in the Bible. And that was when there was, basically business being done at the temple. And that didn't sit well. I recall a bunch of tables got turned, people got chased with whips, and like I said, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that is the most upset that I saw him get in the Bible. Somehow, individuals that love the things of the world and want to, I don't know what their motivation is, because I think it's pretty clear that you're not supposed to mix the Father and money at all. At all. No lukewarmness at all. Now, if Jesus got upset, so upset, that he was flipping tables and chasing people with whips over that, I think I would be more obedient to the Father's law about using his name in business or in association with business and or money, then I would man's laws. But it depends on who you're living for, man or the Father. I'm living for the Father. So now I'm far from perfect. And there's a lot of things that happened throughout the course of my marriage on both sides. Not just her, not just I. And I was trying to get closer to the Father. I really was, but I couldn't. And I could sit here and I can make excuses and I could point fingers and I can blame, but that's just something that partisans do, and I'm not a partisan person. I mean, I'm all about taking accountability for my own actions, and you know, I indeed cheated on her, but that was really about the worst of it, other than, you know, not being a good, a supportive husband, right? But now I'm telling you the bad things that I did. I'm not telling you the bad things that she did, nor am I going to. Okay? Because do I need to? I'm not into the drama. I'm not into the bullshit. A lot of bad stuff. A lot of bad stuff from both. And again, I'm not talking, it wasn't physical stuff or anything like that. I cheated. God knows she probably cheated on me. I have no idea. All kinds of stuff. But like I say, I'm not trying to run her into the ground. That's not why I'm talking about this. This is about my own accountability. And because I wouldn't be accountable for myself, because I kept excusing the things that I knew better about, because I wouldn't be obedient. See, I was in the same place as some people where I couldn't hear him. No matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't hear him. Right? It was frustrating. It was maddening. I get it. There's a reason why. Because you're a little too far away. If you agreed, fully agreed to walk with him, and you don't carry through on your obedience, he will humble you. He will humble you in a way that you will have no choice but to listen. That's where I'm coming from. Not a fun place, but at the same time, I think I was blessed. Kind of a warped perspective, but if it allows me to see things the way I do, with the clarity that I do versus society, man, this is his plan, not mine. Remember, I'm supposed to be obedient. I am not supposed to love the things of the earth. I'm supposed to love him. Yeah, I'm telling you. it's like with this whole thing with verification of individuals. How we run to man for verification of individuals. Now that's whether we run to people that might have known them in high school, or people that this or that or the other thing, or we run online and we do some type of a background check, right? Anything like that. When we run, and first of all, the Father had some things to say about that to begin with, but I'll let them figure that out. But why not go to the Father? Why not go to the Father? Because I'll tell you what, paper don't tell you nothing. Paper don't tell you nothing. Crazy. You know, and I guess I ought to note, not only paper don't tell you nothing, but often when it's he said, she said, more often than not, misinformation. But you know, I think what happens, and I think people get so caught up in society, and they get so caught up in using man scales, that they even forget what God scales are. Quite different. Quite different. Now, I think this exactly ties in to why the good book says the meek will inherit the earth. Absolutely. Good book also says that certain individuals, it doesn't matter where they go. It doesn't matter if they go to the heavens, the depths of the deepest caves. They're not going to escape. You know why? He's in control. He makes the choice. He makes the call. Not your preps, not my preps. He makes the call. We better be real. And I mean really real. If we want to sit down at that table. I do. I do. What I don't want to do is renege on my deal and get stripped out of the book of life. That would suck. I'm just me. But one thing that me is somebody that can't stand to sit and watch people get kicked down, especially in a blank statement about a blanket of people, millions of men in the United States. Millions of men in the United States. And just because some individual hadn't personally been severely affected by a particular system, well, then that means everybody else that has are scumbags. Inherently. That's how that works. And the Father approves that mindset, too. I don't get it. I think for the last couple of days, possibly, I can't say for certain, but I think possibly somebody I went from school with, or went to school with, has been kind of trying to step down on me a little bit, right? I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious because ain't got a clue of the cat sitting in this chair. Not many people really do, to be quite honest. And I thought it was hilarious. I still think it's hilarious. I'm enjoying toying. The more partisan you get, the more narrow-minded you get. And it's funny. It's humorous. I mean, it's childlike, but it's humorous. But anyway, and the same goes true, by the way, the other side of the spectrum. It's a partisan thing, right? It's a degree thing. There's plenty of conservatives and plenty of Democrats that are fine. You know, they're moderate or whatever. They're not extremist in their views. They're not, you know, and they don't think that they should just up and force their views on everybody and all that stuff. It's not about that. In fact, I know a lot of Democrats, a fair amount, and most of the Democrats I know are gun owners. So that's a thing, right? They support the Second Amendment, right? In fact, most of the same individuals are not fans of abortion. Nah, they don't. They're not cool with that, right? Democrats, mind you. So, at the same time, I've known some pro-choice Republicans. So, it is what it is. But I tell you what, I do fear what the Father can do. But I think it's ridiculous that we step down on other people so easily, so quickly. I don't get it. I don't. But and the reason why it's bothering me, if you couldn't tell, because it is, it bothers me, because I don't like to see this. I hurt literally for the sake of humanity. I don't like to see this stuff. I don't want to see this stuff. That's why I'm calling it out. I don't believe that if you see something that is incredibly wrong and you don't like it, that you should crawl your coward ass underneath a blanket and not say a word. You get up in the face of it and you say something. That's a start. And you damn well be ready to back your ass up. But that's how you fix things. And if we would approach things like that in this nation, the things that are wrong with this nation right now, maybe we could go a little forward. But right now, we're just playing footsies with the woke. When we just need to be saying no. See, back in the day, a man was good for his word. And when a man said no, it meant no. See, one of my things that I will go off on, if somebody asks me if I'll do something, if I'll go with them somewhere, if I'll do something like that, and I say no, I expect that to be the end of it. Oh, don't pressure me. It will set me the hell off. And you might get away with it 3 or 4 times. And I can't tell you how many times, because there's going to be one time you're not going to get away with it. And I'm going to come unglued. Because I think a man should be as good as his word. If a man tells you no, he means no. It doesn't mean you go back and ask him 5 more times. And same for a woman, by the way. I'm not attributing this to a gender. I mean when a person speaks. The only reason man comes to mind is because that's how it used to be said, you know. A man's word, blah, blah, blah. We need a lot more of that back in society. But I don't know. We just need to do some fixing. And as I've always said on this show, it starts at home. It starts in our hearts, in our minds. That's where it starts. And until we're willing to start there, there's really not much hope. Got to start there. And humanity's not ready for that. They're too busy trying to find indifference, being greedy, prideful, egotistic. You know, I'm not perfect, but I do really try not to fall for those traps. I try. Not perfect. I fail. I am probably the worst at this point at following Torah. Maybe not the worst, but I'm pretty far up on that list. Yeah, but I'm trying. At least I'm not running around trying to find ways that I can step down on people. People that did nothing to me at all. Just to be malicious. Just to be condemning. Like I said, King's coming. Bet that. King's coming. He's going to take names when he does. I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait. Because even if I didn't do good enough, man, these last years, I'm content with how hard I tried. Even if I fail. Even if I fail. And I mean that. As in a really cleaned up yard, not just shoved everything up underneath the shrubs, cleaned up yard. Right? I honestly don't know a lot of people that can say that. I mean, my only witness is Jen. But I'm not out doing malicious things. I don't just sit there and talk about people. I don't just... None of that. Do I gossip in the least? I know you can't hear it because the mic, but no. None of that. None of that. None of that. Most of the time, as I spent quiet. Me researching. I don't have time to play high school games. I've got stuff to learn. I've got things to do. I've got funny. I'm going to tell you a Watchman fact. Okay? I did not pass the first time the 5th grade. Now, had nothing to do with my intelligence. In fact, I was way above average. The claim was that I was too immature, and yet the other children would run over me. And so that they thought it was in my best interest that they held me back a year to let me grow up and get a little bigger, because I was a runt too. So I was like a little kid. So they thought maybe if I not only physically grew, but mentally, emotionally grew, and all of that, that I might be able to fare a little better with the kids. Well, I had no idea, and it didn't dawn on me until I was much later in life, much older. And it didn't dawn on me that the reality of it is no, I just didn't see things. I was actually more mature, and I had always been more mature. All throughout high school, I didn't act like a high school kid. Now, don't get me wrong, I was an idiot. I went out and did a lot of stupid stuff, and I was Mr. Party, but there was a lot of the high school mentality that I didn't do. Okay? For one, I come from a drinking community. That was pretty much the big thing to do here, to go get drunk, right? Everybody did it. Most all of my friends were alcoholics. It's just the way things were here, right? But guess who wasn't? Me. I hardly drank. Hardly drank a drop. Why? I didn't want to. See, it didn't matter that other people were calling me names and running me into the ground and all of this, that, and the other thing. I didn't care. I didn't want to. Plain and simple. I never lived to please others. I don't care. I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that anymore. I was talking about school. Yeah, I was held back in the 5th grade. And I really firmly believe the reality of it is I just didn't see things in a 5th grader's eyes. I think I saw things in an older person's eyes. But as a result, I didn't understand why kids acted the way they did. Certain things, right? And part of it was just not understanding society, because that was part of it too. My family wasn't really socially active at all. So, I mean, I didn't live my childhood completely isolated or nothing like that. Don't misunderstand me. But we weren't around a whole lot of people. We just weren't. So that made me a little socially backwards from there too. But been a long 49 years. Been a long 49 years. I'll tell you what. People want to call those that are fucked over by the family court system scumbags. I'll challenge them to go up against me with the scales of the Father anytime. Anytime. There's not much I'll boast and I'll brag about, but I'll be like Paul. I'll be like Paul. Anytime you want to step up to the scales of the Father, let me know. You want to listen or be able to listen to him again, you want to hear him again, Knock it off. And that doesn't just go to this particular channel that I was referring to. This goes to society. We've got to differentiate these scales. I'm telling you. If you follow man's scales, you'll be loving the wrong people and hating the wrong people. Guaranteed. Hell, the whole system is set up for you to do that. Everything. Entertainment, media, everything. Set up so that you'll love the wrong people and hate the wrong people. And it's very successful. Anyway, let me, a couple more headlines that was up there. Let me pop these out real quick before I start reading them. I'm sure I will have a little commentary for a couple of the headlines I did today for Patreon. And a couple of things I was hoping I did remember to say. I don't know if I will or not. Hang on, just about got these. There's a lot going on today in the news as well. Okay, let me get you guys kicked over there. Grab a drink. I know tonight's going to not be a very well-loved episode, but, and this really doesn't have that much to do with me. It has to do with society as a whole. And yeah, this was an instance I gave you that involved it involves something that was said by another person that I could be included in. I mean, I don't think it was necessarily directly aimed or anything like that. It wasn't that at all. It was just a blanket statement. But man, that's an awful bullshit statement. Short-sighted, uneducated. Definitely un-Christ-like. Alright, let's see. I do got one from last night that I want to share. I don't think I shared this out last night. If I'm not mistaken. Cuba reports first death amid anti-government protest as U.S. says Cubans coming by sea not welcome. So, kind of nuts. Kind of nuts. I really do think that we are going to see a lot pop up soon enough when it comes to Cuba. So we'll see. This is the other thing I expect we're going to see a lot pop up about. Yesterday's show, I said that I hadn't seen anything yet to where I could confirm about the door-to-door stuff already starting. Well, this is that very thing. Vax Squad to the rescue, North Carolina town, first to roll out controversial doses to doors vaccine delivery program. So, as an update to yesterday's show, they have now actually started that in North Carolina. So, that's why I'm so firm behind saying you need to get it through your head now. You need to drill this. You need to, and I mean that. I know it sounds goofy to drill it, but you really do. You need to drill what you're going to do when they knock on your door. Because if the American people don't stop it before it gets to that point, there will be a knock on your door. And I don't think it's just going to be as simple as ignoring the door. Folks, how long do we expect to pull this cover over our heads? There is a monster there. We know there's a monster there. The monster is about to rip the covers off of our heads. And then rip our heads off our bodies. So we've got two choices. We can pull the covers down and fight. And I don't necessarily mean, violent insert. No. There's many ways to fight. Or just give in. I'm not for giving in. The majority wants to give in. Then grab my stuff and, take a little walk. And you can give in all you want. But, we better get it through our minds what we're going to say, how we're going to react when that knocks on that door. Because I don't think it's going to get stopped. I don't think the American people's going to stop it. Western media use images of pro-government rally protest in Miami to illustrate Cuban unrest as Havana warns of soft coup. Cruise to nowhere in Singapore cut short after vaccinated passenger tests positive for coronavirus. Future voyage canceled. Taliban claim key Afghan border crossing with Pakistan as insurgent group nets new territories. Oil has become the hottest commodity on Wall Street. Foreign direct investment in China soars by nearly 34% this year. Sydney's lockdown extended for another 2 weeks as restrictions fail to bring down COVID infections. Did he jump or was he pushed? Claims emerged from Kiev that Ukrainian Interior Minister Avakov was ordered to quit by Americans. A bus bomb in northern Pakistan kills at least 13, including 9 Chinese engineers. Rouhani says Iran can enrich uranium to 90% equivalent to weapons grade. Did comment on Patreon this morning on this. I said this. I said they were going to do this, I don't remember how long ago. It wasn't terribly long ago. It was when they made their announcement that they were going to go to 70. And I said, they're going to go to weapons grade. You watch. And I think they already have. I think they had a long time ago. Like I was telling Patreon, come on, it's a centrifuge. You don't think that they've got some centrifuges somewhere in that country, in the entire country of Iran? You don't think they've got a bunker somewhere with some centrifuges that nobody knows about, where they're enriching to whatever they damn well please? I do. I'm not an idiot. This is the cat that was telling you that North Korea had nukes a decade before they admitted it. Okay? I'm telling you, Iran's got nukes. they've got weapons grade uranium already. They've got nukes already. They've already got it all. I think this is them trying to be diplomatic. Honestly. And I know that's gonna find a lot of disagreement out there. But man, I get what it is to want to be an independent person or an independent nation, or I understand it, I get it. And I don't think that independence only applies to me. That's a selfish notion. Independence, liberty, is supposed to apply to each and every individual on the planet. Not just the Americans, not just the conservative Americans, not just the liberal Americans, not just this group, that group, or this group and that group.
No. Everybody. Everybody. So then inherently, that would mean that nations made up of individuals would have their own liberty. Just saying, there's a pattern here. So why the hell are we up everybody's ass and telling them how to live? I keep hearing about this beacon of freedom, right? That damn thing's been put out long ago. We don't have it here shining in this country anymore, and it's not shining out across the world anymore. And that's just a fact. Again, circling back to what I said earlier, if we don't be honest about this stuff, how the hell are we going to fix it? I'm tired of being quiet. I'm tired of shoving shit under the rug. I'm not the one shoving it under the rug, but I can't get... I get hate for mentioning it. Because I truly want to fix it. I'm not just some person so wrapped up in symbolism that, hey, as long as I can wave a flag around on the 4th of July and pretend I'm free, I'll ignore the rest of the 364 days a year. No. Skip the days that you vote. We'll give you the voting days. Because that's freedom. I don't get how they associate. I voted, that's free, I'm free. I'm free. I voted. Yeah, well. I picked Malto Meal over the brand name because I got a lot better deal. But I'm not really any more free, now am I? Anyhow. Forest fires rage in Russia's remote Yakutia region. Local government rejects offer of help from Hollywood's Leonardo DiCaprio. So, Leo can't help you. No. It's interesting. It's interesting. There's got to be something, something there. China cheers Russia's move away from U.S. dollar in favor of yuan. Putin's warning to the West, Moscow sees Ukraine as part of Russian world, and this is meant to be taken seriously by outsiders. Now, this is another thing I commented to Patreon about this morning. I think in all the time that I have been paying attention, this is the most aggressive, assertive thing that I have seen Putin say. And there may be more stuff he said that I'm unaware of, but I'm talking about a statement like this because I almost see a similar situation to China and Taiwan here with Russia and Ukraine. And to be honest, I thought, and this could be all on me, but I thought Putin was content, you know, as it was. As long as Ukraine left him alone about, I'm drawing a blank now. You know what I'm talking about. You know the thing. Yeah, I don't live over there. Anyway, I can't believe I can't remember the name of that country. Oh, is it Crimea that I'm thinking of? I am being so mentally blocked. I don't know the Middle East. Hell, I know the U.S. kind of. And see, you know, we go over here, we'll jump on a plane and go. I have no idea. I put it in there, but I have no idea where it said it was. Okay, Ukraine. I think it's down here. Donetsk. I think it's Crimea, right? That they were bickering about. Thought it was like this little area right here, but it's not popping up. Sorry. I just hate it when I'm looking for something and I can't find it. Huh. Yeah, I thought it was like this little area right here or something was the area. Nonetheless, what was it up here? Anyway, sorry. I know I'm boring you to death while I'm trying to research what I can't remember, because it's driving me nuts. But anyway, that's the most aggressive that I've seen Putin get over the matter. I've never seen him get even remotely like this when it comes to Ukraine. As far as showing an intent to collect it, I'll word it that way. And it's very reminiscent to me of China and Taiwan. So that struck kind of a note with me this morning when I saw that headline. I wanted to make note of that with you as well. Pope Francis discharged from Rome Hospital 10 days after intestinal surgery. Not a lone wolf killing. New documentary on JFK assassination reveals organized black op. Director Oliver Stone tells RT. Britain willing to come to terms with Taliban and work with enemy for sake of peace if it behaves, the UK Defense Secretary says. Remains of Napoleonic General Gudin repatriated to France from Russia over 200 years after his death during the 1812 invasion. Some Britons angry as government quietly passes bill to make COVID-19 vaccines mandatory for care home staff in England. Beijing blasts irresponsible U.S. provocation after Washington rejects China's unlawful maritime claims in the South China Sea. Russia and China using vaccine diplomacy for political gain, Berlin says, as EU delays approval of Moscow's Sputnik V COVID-19 jab. Lightning strikes George Floyd Memorial in Ohio, reducing it to a pile of bricks, witnesses tell authorities. Social media sites will be slapped with fines if they do not remove racist abuse online, the UK Prime Minister pledges. Another thing from him, you will not be going to the match. Whenever I read that this morning, even the first time, I heard it in like a British accent. I don't know why, but I did. I don't know. You will not be going to the match. No ifs, no buts. UK PM Boris Johnson announces plans to ban racist fans from going to games. It's funny how sometimes we just read things in certain voices or accents or whatever. Brighton mosque leader whose sons joined Al-Qaeda arrested on terrorism charges after being flagged for spreading toxic ideology. Hey, as long as it wasn't toxic masculinity, can't have none of that. They better be woke terrorists. I know that. They better be woke. Scientists discover algae with female, male, and bisexual sex cells, signaling it may not be so rare in nature. And like I said this morning, Alex Jones had it right, man, the gay frogs. It takes a lot of gay cells to make each and every gay frog. Right? Alex was just ahead of people, man. He was just ahead of the learning curve. That's all. Putin tells Biden's climate, the aliens are never going to come. They're just not going to come. They're like, fuck this, lock the doors, we're gone. Yeah, I'm telling you. Putin tells Biden's climate change envoy that Russia and U.S. can work together for their common interest regarding global warming. A UK race equality think tank draws criticism on social media for stoking divisions after claiming racism is systemic in England. And like I said earlier, isn't it? I mean, I thought that they were kind of known for it, even more so than the United States. But if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But I kind of thought that was a thing. Clashes in Paris as protesters march over mandatory COVID jabs and incoming health pass scheme in France. Biden to announce Operation Allied Refuge to get revenge-weary Afghan translators into the U.S., says Reuters. EU drugs regulator urges people to follow through on second COVID vaccine doses as Delta variant continues to surge in Europe. Tehran slams U.S. accusations of Iranian state involvement in attempted kidnapping of journalist. U.S. overdose deaths hit record high in 2020, driven by deadly fentanyl. That's a shame. That is truly, truly a shame. Man. And I will say one thing on this. I think pretty much most everybody knows or knows of somebody that's died. And I mean personally, not just, from TMZ or something. Somebody that's died of a drug overdose. It's pretty rampant across our nation at this point. And one thing that I see that highly concerns me, disturbs me, is in most cases that I've seen, can't speak for you, but in most cases that I've seen, nobody will talk about it. If you go and you look on their social media page, you got everybody, of course, flooding with messages. Nobody will talk about it. No mention anywhere. How? Why? Circling back to what I've been saying the entire night. How in the hell we're going to fix it? We won't even look at it. We have got to start speaking up. It's a horrible thing to have a loved one pass away like this. In every way, it's horrible. The loss is horrible. The life before the loss, and in many cases, was horrible. People need to speak up. The more people that speak up, the more people that truly will be discouraged. Man, circling back, remember what I said about drinking and alcohol earlier? See, I did my research. I did my homework. I learned that there were things that weren't so harmful to the human body that would allow me to relax and take that mental rest. And it turned out that for me it was actually a medication to help this mind slow down enough to be able to deal with society. I mean, that's long and short of it. A lot of interesting things to know about me. I do share them here and there. I'll never share too much at one time, but the pass shall not pass. Protesters take to streets across France after Macron drops vaccine passport bombshell. And this is, part of what I was saying, where people in these other countries, they've been in the streets. They've been raising hell. They've been burning stuff down. They've been doing all kinds of stuff. Fighting back against, lockdowns and the vaccine passports and this, that, and the other thing. And what have we done? Made legal threats, pretty much. That's about it. Sanctions against Taliban could be lifted as part of Afghan peace process, top Russian diplomat tells RT in wake of U.S. withdrawal. George W. Bush is heartbroken over Biden's decision to withdraw troops from Afghanistan and frets over dangers to women and girls. Let's see. Brazilian President Bolsonaro rushed to the hospital after 10 days of hiccups and may need surgery. That would suck. So I certainly hope that President Bolsonaro gets better. That man, I can't imagine. I've read about it. I've heard about it, about being stuck with hiccups, and yeah, it can kill you. It can herniate your throat, your esophagus, I guess, and I think it can do that relatively quickly. But yeah, I'm going by memory. I think I read it back sometime in around junior high or something. Yeah, I'm telling you, I've got a really messed up memory. But yeah, I think you can herniate your esophagus or something like that, and you can actually die from the hiccups. It's crazy. Swatting call by teenagers who coveted Tennessee man's prized Twitter handle leads to his death, the family reveals. Now, I think this happened, a little while back. It didn't happen like last week. But anyway, apparently this guy's Twitter handle was Tennessee. I mean, that's what it was Tennessee. He was the guy that got Tennessee. And so, yeah, I mean, the guy, unfortunately, some kids swatted him, and he had walked outside and with his firearm because his neighbor actually called him and told him that there was a bunch of cops outside and surrounding his property, and it looked like they were kind of looking for somebody on his property. Well, this guy grabbed his gun, but don't worry, it didn't end how you think. But this guy grabs his gun and walks outside, and once realizes the police were actually there to investigate his property or what have you, whatever was going on, and he realized that he needed not to be armed. Apparently he got rid of his gun and put his hands up and then had a heart attack and died. So fortunately they didn't shoot him or anything like that. Unfortunately, he had a heart attack and passed away. This stuff is ridiculous. One dead, 2 missing as deluge floods cities in several German states. A gone but already forgotten. Twitter axes Snapchat-like fleets after they fail to get less active users to tweet. Good. Maybe it'll remove the stupid option out of there because it gets in my way. FBI set on molestation accusations against USA Gymnastics Dr. Nassar, enabling 70 more assaults, the DOJ report finds. You listening? I put zero trust in men. And this is why. And we do nothing. Nothing. We know where the evil is. We just won't do nothing about it. From bad to worse, UN warns COVID-19 pandemic caused 23 million children to miss routine vaccinations. Instead of doing anything about it, we just condemn those people that are victims of it. Isn't that crazy? It's the craziest. Well, it's Stockholm Syndrome. Let's see. Watchman protests erupt in Greece after government bans unvaccinated from indoor public spaces and allows teens to receive the jab. WHO declares third wave of COVID-19 pandemic, says gains from vaccines have reversed as Delta variant spreads. Pardon me. Hey, at least I didn't start right away tonight. Congressional Democrats accuse company behind Arizona election audit of QAnon and Trump ties. And that's it. That's the updates. Or the headlines. Or the updates and the headlines. Or my entire night of nonsense. All wrapped up with a not so pretty bow. My goodness. I wonder if the Father's going to smack me in the morning with something he wants me to cover. I'm telling you. I don't even want to drive the car anymore. By that I mean live for me. You know, in kind of like a selfish kind of way. I don't want to drive the car anymore. I don't want to make the decisions anymore. Because I'm a screw up. I'm a screw up. And there are certainly things that if I'm allowed to make the decision on, I'll probably make the wrong decision. And I'm trying to be smarter, trying to be better, a better person, a better servant. I'm just going to be obedient. That's all. And it's not easy to do. Not easy to do. It's probably the largest reason why I live such a reclusive life. Is because I just want to be obedient and be left alone. Right? Because other people don't want to respect my obedience. They don't get it. They don't understand it. They don't, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I just want to be obedient. I want to do whatever it is that he's got for me because I think there's something big. And I'm anxious. In a good way. Not in a scared, negative, any kind of in an impatient kind of way. I'm anxious. I want to get to work. I guess I feel a little bit stagnant. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. God willing, I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do this again. Otherwise, if you hear on the news about lightning striking the home, and specifically taking my ass out, then I guess it was his will not. So, but I have a feeling I'll be here. Damn the luck. And we'll do this all again. So, anyway, I'm out of here. I'm going to quit playing with this antenna housing and pen. And wish you all a good night. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.